I know many people have questions about how and why are we having a conversation about housing in the Republic of Kenya. And progressively we are answering the how, we are answering the why, and we will answer every other question. Because right here in Embu, and as we do in every part of Kenya, we have our own citizens, millions of young people who do not have a job. We have 5 million Kenyans across Kenya, young people out of school, out of college, out of universities who do not have a job. It is our collective responsibility to think about the 5 million young people in Kenya who today walk our streets, walk our villages, in our townships, in our markets, and yet they do not have an opportunity to deploy their energy, their knowledge, their education in making a difference in their lives and making a difference in our nation. And I want to encourage all of us as the people of Kenya, as we look into this opportunity. I know many people are asking, how is it my business? How is it my responsibility? I have had many ask me, Mr. President, how is it my responsibility to think about those who do not have jobs? How is it my responsibility to think about the people who live in slums? 7 million Kenyans who live in slums, in indignity, without toilet, without running water, without roads. How is it my business? Let me ask the people of Kenya, if our freedom fighters, the people who made the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives in liberating our nation, if they had asked the question that how is it their business, today we would continue to have been slaves of our masters if they asked themselves that question. It is our opportunity, as they did to liberate our country. They went beyond the call of duty. They did not ask, how is it their business to make the ultimate sacrifice to liberate our country? I want to ask every citizen, it is our responsibility collectively to think, to plan, and to ensure that the 5 million young people in our country who today do not have jobs, have jobs. It is our responsibility to ensure the people, 7 million of them, who live in our slums, including Shauri Yako here in Embu. I was here last week, and I was informed about Shauri Yako. The people who live in Shauri Yako deserve a decent house, and it is our responsibility as we implement the housing plan, not just to create jobs, at least 1 million jobs every year. It is also our responsibility to grow our manufacturing, because housing will make sure that our entire manufacturing value chain, from the cement in our factories, to the steel in our factories, to the doors and windows and hinges in our Juakali sector and our construction products industry, to the sand harvesters, to all the people who will be working in our construction sites, to the accountants and engineers and all the architects and all the technicians and the electricians, to every sector, the millions of young people that will be employed in this sector, is sacrifice enough for us who are employed to make that contribution to the hustler fund, to the housing fund, so that we can bring around the change that is going to take our country forward. Our vision for affordable housing program is premised, firstly, on the objective of creating 1 million direct and indirect employment opportunities throughout every value chain in the housing development ecosystem. A single housing unit is capable of employing 3 to 5 workers directly and an additional 8 workers indirectly in the manufacturing of construction products, in transport, in logistics, and in all other sectors that contribute to the housing and construction industry. Secondly, the objective of affordable housing is to increase the number of homeowners and to transition more Kenyans from rent-paying in informal settlements, in slums, and we have 1,411 slums in Kenya. We should transition those people, my countrymen and women, into homeowners. They should live in dignity like the rest of us because we owe them a duty of citizenship and a duty of comradeship as we live in one country. I want to ask every parent, I want to ask every Kenyan that rather than ask, how is it your business? We must know that it is our business because the 5 million young people are our children. They are our citizens. They pay taxes. And when we transition them into jobs, we are building a bigger pool of taxpayers. The conversation we have today in Kenya is different. I did promise the country 3 years ago that we are going to change the conversation. That the conversation is not going to be anymore about leaders. It is going to be about citizens. It is going to be about those who do not have jobs. It is going to be about our manufacturing. It is going to be about the millions who live in informal settlements. It is going to be about the people. I told the country that we are going to change the conversation. It is not going to be about changing the constitution and creating positions for leaders. It is going to be about changing the economy and creating opportunities for millions of young people, including the many who are today in our streets and villages, the millions of young people who are looking up to us to provide them with opportunities to work. It's going to be about the ordinary people who work in the manufacturing sector, the people who also want to contribute, to be taxpayers, but because they have no jobs, they cannot pay tax. I promise the country that it is not going to be about sharing power. It is going to be not about sharing power by the elite and by leaders. It is going to be about empowerment of every citizen, empowering our farmers to produce more so that we can get ourselves into food security, empowering our young people with jobs so that they too can contribute meaningfully to our economy and meaningfully to our taxpayers. It calls for us the empowerment of every citizen and every business person so that we can contribute to the economy of our country. I want to promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that that effort is on course, and together we are going to move in that direction to enhance